Hey guys, I'm back with another Batmobile, and this time we're going to be taking a look at something very different from my collection. This is the Imaginext DC Super Friends Batman and Batmobile. Now, I know this line is generally meant for kids. You can see there it says Fisher Price, ages 3 to 8. So the design is very innocent, very cartoon-like, but I just couldn't pass this one up. Some of you who watch my channel, you know I obviously collect Batmobiles, but you also know that I am a big Superman fan. I do have a modest Superman collection, and my good friend Stu Murray 47, who is a mega Superman collector, he recently got me hooked on these goofy little Imaginext figures, and I have all of their Superman related figures. Again, I know they look kind of cartoony, kind of goofy, but they have such an incredible amount of detail. Stuart and I were actually discussing how these little figures that are meant for kids, they have more detail than some of the 6-inch figures that are meant for adult collectors. So I was mainly curious to see what kind of Batmobile Imaginext would make. Now, there are actually several different Imaginext Batmobiles available. They have all sorts of Bat vehicles. They even have a Bat cave. What made me decide to get this one in particular is because it's modeled after the Arkham Asylum Batmobile, which is one of my all-time favorite Batmobiles. This is the Hot Wheels version of the Arkham Batmobile, and you can immediately see some of the similarities. And once I get this out of package, we'll take a closer look and sort of see just how similar it is. Now, this is obviously not Hot Wheels or Eagle Moss, right? This Batmobile really is designed as a toy. And if you look at the back of the package, you can really tell that it's meant for kids. What I love about it is how it shows the 3 main features that this Batmobile has. But it also points out how those features emphasize things like curiosity and discovery, imagination and creativity. And what better way to do that than by simultaneously introducing kids to some of the great characters in pop culture. So this is what you have when you take everything out of package. Aside from the Batmobile, you get these 2 firing discs. They're made out of hard plastic, and they each have a sculpt of the bat symbol. Very nice. You also get this great variant Batman figure. And again, the level of detail on these goofy little figures, it's just incredible. I mean, just like look at the buckle and the pouches on his utility belt. And the suit itself, it has this sculpted mesh section to almost make it look like there's Kevlar around the armor. And that continues all the way down to his legs, around the knee pads, and around the armor on his boots. And if you lift up the cloth cape, you can see there that the sculpting detail continues on his back. Very cool. Now, most of the Imaginext figures, they have the same level of articulation. You have a swivel at the head. There are 2 points of articulation at the shoulder. It has a swivel at the wrist. There's nothing at the waist, but of course the legs, they bend forward. You can position him like this, and of course he can sit inside the Batmobile. It looks pretty cool. Let me give you a profile shot here. I love the blue visor on his high-tech bat helmet. There's nothing really inside the cabin. It's pretty much a flat surface, but there is a sculpted steering wheel. It doesn't turn or anything, but you can position his hands to actually hold the steering wheel. And of course, you can close the top canopy, and Batman is ready for action. So let's check out some of the play features that come with this Batmobile. The first feature is the rocking engine. You can see there, when you roll the wheels and the Batmobile is in motion, it causes the engine to rock back and forth. It's one of those cause and effect concepts that kids can learn, right? And I just want to say something about the engine real quick. I know the overall Imaginext design is for kids, but just like the figures, these vehicles have a surprising amount of detail and design for a toy. Aside from the engine having the pistons, pipes, and turbines, the entire car has some incredible detail in the mold. Now, most of the color that you see there, like the blue and the orange, those are stickers. Look at the vents on the side and the tread on the tires. I think it's just great. Very, very detailed for just a toy. And again, to me, it's so obvious that they modeled this car after the Arkham Asylum Batmobile. Again, here's the Hot Wheels version. Now, they're not identical, right? But I do think that the Arkham Batmobile was definitely the source. The Imaginext is very compact and very cartoon-like, but the overall shape of the body, the color of the lights, the front grille, the engine on the top, they all are reminiscent of the Arkham Asylum Batmobile. The one difference that stands out is the Arkham has 3 tail fins. But one of the other features on the Imaginext Batmobile is you have this button here on the back, and if you press that button, it causes the turbo engine to pop out. And just like the engine rocking back and forth when you roll the tires, the flame on the jet engine, it rotates around. The last feature is the disc launcher. And you do want to be careful with this because these discs, they're made out of hard plastic and it does shoot out with a little bit of force. So what you do is you take the disc and you insert it just above the front bumper there. And it does take a little bit of effort to push it in. And then when you pull back on this side lever here, it launches the disc, just like that. So we're actually going to test it out on a few Batman villains. We have here Mr. Freeze, the Joker, and K-Croc, or Killer Croc, right? Now, these obviously do not come with a Batmobile set, but I wanted to launch the discs out at something other than myself. This whole disc launcher thing, it makes me think of toys like the 1978 Boba Fett action figure with the missile launcher. Just be careful with it. Don't shoot your eye out. Use caution, and make sure you're only pointing it at a member of Batman's Rogues Gallery. So, here we go. I'm going to test this out here. All right, give it a countdown. And 3, 2, 1. Mr. Freeze and Killer Croc, they're not going down without a fight. So we need to reload, move the Batmobile a little bit closer, activate the jet turbo engine. Here we go. Okay, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We'll come back later for Killer Croc. I think the good citizens of Gotham City can rest easy tonight. Just some final thoughts, guys. I think this is a pretty cool rendition of the Batmobile. Is it something for everyone? No. Most collectors probably aren't going to pick this one up unless, you just have to have every Batmobile that's out there, or you're an Arkham nut like I am. It's definitely a toy for kids, but, what a great toy for kids to play with. It's made by Fisher-Price, so this thing is incredibly sturdy. They build toys with the expectation that it's going to be played with by kids, so it can really take some abuse. You can probably throw this thing against the wall and all of the features would still work. I wouldn't advise it, but it does have some cool features like the rocking engine on the top, the jet engine that pops up, the disc launcher, and of course it comes with a cool variant of the Batman figure, which you can pose inside the vehicle. I probably won't be adding too many more Imaginext Batmobiles to my collection. I do have one other, but I'll save that for a later video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video on a slightly different Batmobile for my collection. As always, I hope you do take the time to rate, comment, subscribe, and maybe check out some of my other recent videos. So, we've been looking at the Imaginext DC Super Friends Batman and Batmobile by Fisher-Price. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.